Hey guys, it's YOU WACK, and it's the middle of Season 13, and like I started doing at the middle of Season 12, is I like to check in with you guys, talk about the current meta, talk about what's popular right now, what's working, what's not working, but also, more importantly, to kind of show you why you could not be winning games. Now, I'm not trying to make the accusation that you're losing all your games based on the current meta, but I'm pretty sure you might be losing a lot of games because of the current meta. I just hate seeing a lot of people get frustrated with competitive Overwatch when they might not even know the reason why they're getting frustrated. They're just getting frustrated because they're losing games. And if I make a video kind of explaining the meta and explaining why that meta is working, then I think it can relieve a lot of that tension, a lot of that anxiety and stress that I also have too when I play competitive, and just in hopes of making you like competitive a little bit more. So when looking at Season 13, there are a lot of quote-unquote broken aspects to it, but a lot of good things about it too. So as you guys know, Season 13's meta right now currently is GOATs. 3 tanks, 3 healers preferably. It's a Moira, Lucio, and a Brigitte. And yes, I am making this video right before the Doomfist, but more importantly, the Brigitte nerfs. But what I want to just point out is that GOATs doesn't rely on the 50 damage shield bash. Just because Brigitte is going to receive this nerf doesn't necessarily mean GOATs is going to go anywhere. No, it's all because GOATs favors a lot of specific things. And those specific things, like I mentioned before, are mainly tanks and healers. Now, yes, you can run GOATs with maybe 1 DPS, but if you're having 6 people in a game willing to run 3 tanks and 3 healers, oh my god, you're going to be set up. But also, GOATs relies on a lot of teamwork, a lot of communication, a lot of people willing to just mesh well with the team, because like I said before, you know, GOATs really relies on the Moira and Lucio, all because, well, Moira is supposed to heal all these big heavy tanks, but not die necessarily, but to also be aggressive with the Lucio speed boost. And that can only be accomplished if your team is willing to communicate, willing to say, okay, we're gonna go in, okay, we're gonna focus this person, okay, don't focus this person, don't die by this, and that. And if you're able to accomplish all of that, well, the enemy team's not gonna be able to kill you, all because of the sustainability from the Moira. That is why GOATs is so popular right now, is because you're not gonna be able to die because of the sustainability, but you're gonna be able to get kills because you're focusing on one single target that's not able to handle all 3 of these tanks plus the Brigitte, because I also forgot to mention that Brigitte pretty much replaces the only DPS that you basically need. Now on paper, and even when I explain it, it sounds good, but in execution, it's even better. But this is where the problem starts to ferment, because GOATs relies on so many of those things for it to be successful that it just takes one person, one single person, for that whole thing to crumble. Like I said before, GOATs relies heavily on 6 people, okay, 6 total people willing to play specific heroes, play a specific way, play heroes that they actually know how to play. I forgot to mention that too. Just because you're playing GOATs and you're playing heroes that you don't normally play doesn't mean it's going to be successful, because you still have to know what to do with the Moira, the Brigitte, the Reinhardt, the Diva, whatever the case may be on the field. So that means if you're playing competitive solo queue and you don't have all those things that have been proven time and time again to work, it's all going to crumble. And like I mentioned before, you need 6 people, 6 jabronis for this thing to be executed perfectly, for tanks and healers to be picked, for all those players to know how to play those heroes, good communication, know how to use the ults, and you just need one person, one jabroni, for it to all go to waste. And that is where the broken aspect of Season 13 comes into play from a solo queue's perspective. I might be a little bit biased here, I'll be the first one to admit, because I play 100% of my games ever since Season 5 in solo queue. So yes, I might be a little bit angry by the fact that I'm willing for GOATs to be ran. I want to be ran, but this means DPS has to be pushed to the side. And what do most competitive Overwatch players love to play? That is right, baby boy, healers. No, I'm just kidding. It's DPS, bruh. GOATs favors a lot of things that have been proven to work, and GOATs doesn't favor a lot of things that it's very popular. DPS, the ability to play what you want to play, not necessarily what is popular, what is going to mesh well with the team, and also non-team players. All 3 of those things are very, very popular in solo queue play, and that is the reason why Season 13 is so broken. You have to get lucky with 5 people assuming that you're willing to play with a team and not willing to play what you want to play. I want to play Mei. I want to play Ashe. I want to play Soldier 76. That's not goats, bruh. And me being the pushover that, and this is just me in reality, this is just how I am, but I'm willing to put other people's needs and wants over my own. I would love to play Mei 100% of the time, but I know that's not what's meant. I know that's not willing to work. And in solo queue, not everyone has that attitude. I'm not saying my attitude needs to be the attitude for every single player, but what I am saying is what GOATS is and what is meta right now needs that kind of attitude, needs that willingness, and solo queue competitive in Season 13 doesn't have that attitude a majority of the time. So what happens when you get a meta that favors Moira to heal all these big tanks, being able to get her ultimate in the very first fight while Lucio's speed boosting in, and you're able to focus on one hero? You get a meta that is completely broken because everyone wants to play what they want to play, not willing to work with the team and wanting to play DPS. You get a broken meta. I don't want this video to be just a complaining video, me hating on Season 13. In fact, I'll be the first one to say also, I'll be a hypocrite if I say I hated GOATS, because no, I love the fact that the current meta right now is favoring communication, is favoring teamwork, because even at the end of my Season 12 video, I said GOATS is now finally starting to show the importance of communication and teamwork. So I love the aspect. I hate the fact that it is so popular to the point where people don't want to play it just because they want to prove to themselves they can win by playing these DPS heroes. So then what is the solution? Because again, I don't want this video just to be me complaining about Season 13. I want there to be an actual solution. And I might sound arrogant when I say this because there's other aspects that I'm forgetting about, but I think the problem underlies with Moira being able to get her ultimate so quick. So I think a change would be needing for her ultimate to be toned down a bit as terms of the ultimate charge that she gets. Because just think about this. When you're playing Moira, your first job isn't necessarily to heal the whole entire team. It's to build your ultimate quick so that your team can have sustainability to go in and get a lot of kills. Not needed from the DPS heroes, just needed from the tanks. But the tanks are needed for you to be able to build your ultimate quick as Moira. So that means DPS are pushed aside because not only can the job of DPS be done by the tanks, but it can't build Moira's ultimate fast, stupid. So why play DPS? So that means you need to be aggressive, but not too aggressive. And that's where communication comes into play, because you can tell a team, okay, focus this guy. Okay, back up a little bit. Go in now. I have my ultimate. And that also means Lucio's needed so that he's able to speed boost these tanks in to be able to be fast DPS heroes. So just going back to the Moira change, again, I might sound arrogant because I'm forgetting other parts, but if you were to tone down how much ultimate charge she gains from healing all these tanks, well then the needing of tanks wouldn't necessarily be there. Players can now play DPS, and you can play a little bit less aggressive and less communication-y. That's not a word, but I'm just so frustrated, man, that I don't care what my vocabulary's like. Overwatch is a game that heavily favors ultimate usage, and if you're able to get your ults in the first fight like you can with GOATS, then you're definitely going to win a lot of your games. But people don't want to do that because that doesn't involve DPS, because that involves communication, because that involves playing what you don't want to play or what you're necessarily good at. And that's why I think Season 13 is so broken, and why I think you could be losing a lot of your games, is because of the things that the meta favors and what it doesn't favor. And what it doesn't favor is very popular in solo queue. And this was all from a solo queue player's perspective. So that's why I encourage you guys to comment down below what you think is broken with Season 13. Just let me know what you think. So I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. More Overwatch videos to come, and bye.